Drone Jutsu! Alright, if you guys couldn't have already guessed it, today's challenge for Let's Make a Meta is one of my personal favorites, and that is ninjas. A deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Which has effectively had zero competitive success, though some of the better cards in the archetype have seen play from time to time, particularly Hanzo, or for the real OGs, Strike Ninja. But just because these guys haven't had some success in the YCS environment doesn't mean that they're bad, and I myself have brought them to a YCS, though unfortunately I was unable to go all the way to the top cut. Still, this deck is very cool. It is one of my favorite decks because it has a very unique sort of playstyle. It's a fusion deck that doesn't require a fusion spell in a similar way to Gladiator Beasts, although it doesn't have the same battle phase gimmicks, as well as it has a lot of proactive and reactive resources that are almost unlike anything else. It's a deck with a bunch of unique effects that make it a constant breath of fresh air if you're ever bored of whatever else you're playing. And it's not like it's bad. Again, it has some really powerful aces up its sleeve that mean you can bring this deck into ranked, and I can get to Master 1 pretty easily with this deck. So with that said, let's practice some ninjutsu. Now before we get into the key ninja cards, if you guys are enjoying this series, please make sure to let me know by liking, subscribing, as well as commenting down below what decks you want to see me take on in the future. I promise I'll read your comments, and the more you post, the higher chance that I'll get to your deck in the future. But now, let's go over some Shinobi. So the first thing to talk about with this deck is there's going to be a variety of monsters that are called ninjas, and a variety of spells or traps called ninjutsu arts. They do have some variation in the nomenclature, so not every card can search every card, but they are very interchangeable and they're meant to work together. It's important we know which are which and how they interact with each other, because it's going to be absolutely integral to this deck's functionality. And speaking of cards that bridge that together, let's first talk about Hanzo, one of the classic ninjas and a gorgeous looking card in Ultimate Rare. It's a level 4 warrior, which on normal summon can add any ninjutsu art card from your deck to your hand. And yeah, these are all going to be spells and traps, even though it doesn't say spell or trap. It's spells or traps it adds. Then on flip or special summon, adds a ninja monster from deck to your hand instead. Except Hanzo, so it can't add itself, but that's fine because many other good ninjas that can either retrieve the Hanzo or, do something else. This card is an absolute linchpin of the deck, as one of your key starters that accesses almost anything, as well as a great extender for generating more bodies. It bridges the whole deck together and an instant 3-of in this deck. The ninjutsu art cards restricting off Hanzo are a wide variety that come in all shapes and sizes, many of which are really bad. Some of the new ones are even really bad, but a few of them stick out as pretty strong, specifically the ones that access more cards from your deck. The most important of which, in my opinion, is ninjutsu arts of Dancing Leaves, which you activate by targeting a ninja on the field or one face-down monster on the field. And that could be your opponents as well, which is important. Tribute it, and if you do special one ninja from your deck, and then when this card leaves the field, send that monster to the grave. But it's not the vice versa, so the ninja goes away, this trap stays up. It's important because the second effect is you can target ninjutsu art, continue a spell trap in your spell trap card zone, and return it to the hand. You can only use one effect to return those, so it is slow infinite value, but it is infinite value. Dancing Leaves is not the only ninjutsu art that retrieves more ninjas from the deck. The next one does the same thing and is great in conjunction with Dancing Leaves. That is ninjutsu art of Duplication. Also continuous trap, you tribute any ninja monster you control, special summon any number of ninjas from your deck in face-up attack or face-down defense mode, whose combined levels are equal to or less than the tributed monster. When this card leaves the field, destroy those monsters. So this is a great way of converting a high-level ninja boss monster into a bunch more of little guys that have a good payoff. And the little guys are pretty good, and there are some level 1s and 2s, so this card can be kind of nice. Is summoning 5 monsters from the deck should obviously scream really good, even if it's in trap form. There are a few other ninjutsu arts that we play. I'll go over those in the deck profile as they're not as important to the deck's game plan. These traps, though, are a pinnacle of how you build interruptions, because they'll summon some of your powerful monsters on the opponent's turn that are pretty good. The first of which is Yugioh, the Gravity Ninja, a level 8, which means if we summon it from the deck with Dancing Leaves and tribute it with Duplication, goes kind of ham. And we're going to summon it on the opponent from Dancing Leaves because if it is normal or special summoned or flip face up, you can target up to 2 monsters on the field, change them face down, and if they're opponent's monsters that were flipped, they cannot change their battle position. That is pretty good. That just books 2 cards. It's almost like a bit of a field clear, and the fact that they can't flip it up means that if you can't deal with them on the next turn, that's fine. You can just never flip them up because your opponent can't either. It also says that if a face-up monster in the field flips face up while this card is on the field, you can target a card you put in controls and destroy it. This effect truthfully comes up a lot less than you may think, but it is still nice to have as a way of getting some continual pressure and value off of Geo if you were in a bit of a grind game. This card is going to be one of the prime targets to summon from your deck, as it is great for either breaking fields or for disruption. But then the next card you want to summon is going to be Tabari, the Sky Ninja. At level 1, so great off duplication, that cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect that turn a special summon or flip face up. This means if you summon it off of duplication, your opponent can't just go battle phase to force it out. It's just going to stick there. Yes, it'll take damage, but it's, as long as they're not that far ahead in attack points, not going to matter that much. Now, the more important effect for the opponent's turn when you summon this card from deck is that during your opponent's main or battle phase, you can fusion summon a ninja fusion from your extra deck using monsters in your hand or field. Now, I did say this was a contact fusion deck, but you can also do it the old-fashioned way, and that is how you're going to convert them into disruptions on the opponent's turn. And we'll get to the fusions next. Its next effect, though, is also a bit important, as it's a great way of extending, and that is you can discard it from the hand to special one ninja from your hand in face-up or face-down defense mode. It is not crazy. However, especially Haunter from the hand negating the search can build up into some powerful plays, as well as if you want to break through your field, summoning Geo to book your opponent's monsters face down can be quite helpful. But with Tabari in mind, what are the fusion monsters we're aiming to summon? The most important one is going to be Maizen the Battle Ninja. It requires 2 ninjas with different types, and Yaguramaru, the other one, is going to have the same condition. And then they both can be special summoned from your extra deck by attributing the above monsters you control. So that includes face downs. Maizen says your ninjas can attack directly. That's awesome. So with Geo, for example, if you book a monster like Fairy Tale Snow that went in the graveyard, you don't have to put it back in the grave. You can ignore it for the rest of the duel. And that is sick. It also says while you control a face-down defense mode monster, your opponent cannot target this card for attacks. Not too important, but can be neat when your opponent forgets about it. And then lastly, and this is the reason to play it, when your opponent uses a card or effect, you can special one ninja from your deck in face-up or face-down defense mode. This is directly going to give you more Geos or Tabaris. Now, the other fusion in this deck is going to be a better form of disruption to summon off Tabari, and that is Yaguramaru. With the same summoning restrictions, whenever special summoned or flip face up, you can banish one other ninja or ninjutsu art, your hand, graveyard, or field, then target one card on the field and banish it. Simple, but good removal. This card's easy summoning with both its just classical summoning method as well as with Tabari. Means it is very important in grind games for crippling your opponent's resources, clearing the fields so you can deal with disruption, as well as establishing your own disruption for the opponent's turn. These fusions are very important to the deck and are easy 3-hits. Now, in my mind, those are the most important ninjas in the deck. We've got the most powerful ninjutsu arts, the best starter, the disruptions, and the fusions. That's kind of give you kind of an idea of how the deck functions. However, there are a lot of ninja cards with a lot of abilities to choose from, and many others you will include in this deck. So I'm going to gloss over those briefly when we get to the deck profile, but for now, that's what you need to know as the most important ninjas in detail. Okay, so this is my ninja deck. It is pretty cookie cutter, and if you've seen me play this deck before, you know it always looks something like this. Ninjas is not a deck that I like splashing with other decks because its engine is pretty good by itself, as well as you want a pretty dense engine for it to support itself. As well as being a mid-range deck, it complements hand traps pretty well, especially Book of Moon type cards, which are also good at mid-range decks, as dancing leaves contribute to your opponent's face downs. Or you can turn your own monsters face down and then trigger their flip effects. So oftentimes my deck looks a lot like this, with around 25 or so engine and then the 15 or so non-engine, which are often just the staples of the format. Now let's quickly go over some of the ninjas that I hadn't already discussed in the initial deck breakdown. First up, we've got Mitsu, an insect, and it's important that most of these have different types. Which you control ninja or face down monster can summon itself from the hand, but then also has an effect that is less important, and that is while it's on the field and your opponent uses a monster effect, you can flip one of your face down monsters face up and change this card face down to negate that effect. That's just an okay and honestly a bit of an overrated disruption. The biggest thing here is it's an extender. Next up is Green Ninja, which says a monster is summoned to your field face up, you can target one of them, flip it face down, and summon this card from your hand. Honestly, not that important. The bigger effect, though, is that if it's sent to the graveyard from your hand or field, you target a monster on the field, either flip it face down or flip it face up. This is important because when you're fusing on the opponent's turn, or you're summoning multiple from deck with duplication, you can fuse away this with Tabari to summon a fusion monster and then book an opponent's monster face down. Next up is Baku, one that I played 2 of because it's great in a grind game. If it's added to your hand except by drawing it, like a Poplar, it summons itself. Then if this card is special summoned or flip face up, you can target a ninja or ninjutsu art card from your graveyard or small trap card zone and return to the hand. Very important for recycling resources, as well as extension. Then lastly, for the monsters, we got Kagero, which on normal, special summon, or flip summon, lets you special a ninja from your hand to grave in face down defense position. Unfortunately, not getting on summon effects right there. However, because you summoned it face down, you can still fuse it away for your Maizen or Yaguramaru. It has one further effect that can be really important in grind games, especially as most people forget about it. That is when your opponent activates a card effect that targets exactly a ninja card or one face down monster you control while this card's in your grave, you can summon back the Kagero and then return the targeted card back to your hand. In a lot of trap-based matchups, this card can be incredibly important for beating stuff like Imperm, as well as just generating more resources than your opponent can handle. And next up, speaking of cards that are great in grind games, or good for lethal pushes, you got the ninjutsu art tool, Iron Digger. This equip spell gives the monster 500 attack and also treats it as a ninja. This way of converting non-ninja monsters into ninjas, which is important because Maizen gives your ninjas the ability to attack directly. You'll see how this could become a cool gimmick. But more importantly, you can once per turn banish a ninja from your graveyard, target a card on the field, and destroy it, which is pretty good. But also, if this card is sent from your field to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished ninjas, you can add it to your hand, or summon it in face-down defense mode. Great extension, as well as you can link this card away, or even pop itself, and you get good extension. So this card is really powerful. However, you don't need to play multiple because you can recycle it, especially with the next card, Ninjutsu Art Notebook of Mystery. This card is fantastic. It is a quick play spell that says if your opponent controls a card, you can set up to one ninja monster and up to one Ninjutsu Art spell trap from your deck and one from your grave. So it's a nice +1 with recyclability. It's just so good. As well as if this set card in the field is sent to the graveyard, you can target a face a monster and book it, which can be okay. A bit of mitigation if they do have something like Nightmare Phoenix. That wraps up all the ninja cards in the main deck, and it should be a pretty comprehensive breakdown of all the things that are here. Lastly, in the extra deck, we've also got Blade Armor Ninja, a rank 4 that lets you target a ninja and can attack twice. And then we got a Link 2, which requires 2 ninja monsters, which during the main phase can set any ninjutsu art from your deck. It also appoints to a monster it cannot be targeted for attack or be targeted with card effects. Now, that's a lot. There are a lot of ninja cards, but that's why it's so cool. It's very self-contained and uses its own synergies to the max. Now, there are a bunch of other ninja cards you could use to enhance this deck. However, this is the method of playing it that I find to be the most advantageous. Now, for the extra deck, there are some options that are cool to go over, like Gigantic Sprite, which in conjunction with Cross Sheep or level 2s like Mitsu, can rank up into Down Magician and then into Zeus, being a powerful board to clear, which sometimes the deck can lack. We're also including a Boral Sword Dragon, as it's an easier to kill shot card than Access Code, as you can just make the Boral Sword attack directly when you equip it with the Iron Digger. But now, with all that in mind, we are all set up to go into ranked and destroy some people with some fancy ninjutsu moves. Up against Khan, and looking at my hand here, it is very varied. I have a lot of options. I can go normal Hanzo search and set 2 and set 3 and pass, or I can go Tabari special Hanzo and do that instead, which might be better. It's worse than the Maxi, but if I get Maxied, then what if I get Maxied? I don't mind getting Maxied. God. Special search, Maxis on this. I search for what? I want to summon the Baku is the problem. I normal this. I get Maxied when I use a trap. It's still pretty bad. Maxi is pretty annoying in these positions. I'm not sure what the correct play is. I'm going to try to develop a stronger field here, because I think if there's no Maxi, this is better. Almost summon the face down defense. That was bad. Yeah, and then effect special summon. And if he has Imprimer Ash here, which is why this would be really bad, I have Book to protect. Not Ash, sorry, Imprimer Veiler. But yeah, let's get Baku here, and then I'll use effect special summon. Add this back. I could have added Kagero instead, which actually I think I should have gone Kagero, just to put it in grave for the anti-targeting. Putting this in grave is not bad either, because when you can combo with Iron Digger, it's pretty good. But this is still fine. Next up, let's go normal summon, and now I'll go into Saizo. The Saizo is going to search me and just do art, so I'm going to get Dancing Leaves out now, and this will make Maizen afterwards. So I'm going to have essentially every bit of setup needed. I'm a bit weak to Lightning Storm, regrettably, but I hope it's not Tempai. 43 cards probably isn't Tempai. Yeah, set Dancing Leaves. And I could just not fuse here, but I wanted Tabari on their turn for Yaguramaru, and I'm going to have access to Tabari again with this. So we're just going to go for classic Aizen. Looks like they have no hand traps, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're playing. Might be a heavy engine deck. Maybe a tier even. All right, pass here. Developing the Grave is good because it means the Notebook is going to be a lot better. But I think Kagura might have been a better card to put in Grave than Baku, because I'd need one normal summon there, right? And it would have generated the same number of bodies. Chicken game, what the hell am I playing against? White Forest? Oh, maybe White Forest. Yeah, that's fine. How's that? Yeah, so it is White Forest. Don't have Ash here, so this is going to go through. Now from deck, they get Sylvie or Rushia. Sylvie, okay. If they summon that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to special from the deck. I'm not going to Veiler. Veiler's pretty bad versus deck, though. I can hold Veiler for LZ, but I mean, not LZ, Astellar, but it's probably not going to be an Astellar. So I'm probably going to go chain this, check for toggle. There is a toggle. It could be a droplet. I'm not going to Veiler this then. Because if there's a droplet that's devastating, is it? Because then I still have Geo off of these, and I have book. No, you know what? I'm gonna force it. Because this is not the end of the world. If he droplets away this, it's fine. But there's not much else to Veil in this deck. And you can't Veil the Synchros because it just it tags out. Oh, it's not droplets. Call by. That's fine. Whatever. It's not a big deal. Yeah, I'm nothing else gonna do. It's fine. So they're going to get access to Tails. Well, Tails doesn't really matter unless they do have Droplet, because these are both going to go face down and they can't use Rusha. They might just like auto lose actually to this. You're going to need a response to the Geo, and obviously I have more things to back up the Geo. I can go add the trap instead, but yeah. Versus Synchro decks, you can honestly just like play Ojama-esque and zone lock them with Geo because they can't flip them back up. It's so funny, and then they just kind of explode. That's if you get to a grind game. I don't know if this will even get to a grind game from this position, but because this is like a huge hit, he'll need supplementary engines because pure White Forest can't deal with this at this point. There's a toggle here. Okay, so no droplet. That's brutal on their end. I don't know what their solution to this is going to be. I wonder what their toggle is as well. Oh, okay, it's Runic White Forest. Okay, so it's Runic cards. Yeah, I got nothing from this position, so we can be patient. Hopefully they don't banish the Digger. That's the most important card to get your grind game in this position. Kagero is also not great to banish, but you can get it back with Digger. Impermanent matters. 0. Adding Tip. Interesting. So do I want to stop this? Not really. I want to let them kind of be the aggressor here, because Runic in response to stuff is more dangerous. Okay, yeah, so target a monster that special summon, destroy it. So I can go duplication to dodge this. Is that what I want to do? And then, yeah, I think this is fine. He'll get 2 draws, but that's okay. We get Ashed here, not the end of the world. They still have follow up with the leaves. Resolves, cool. So I don't banish cards this way, which is fine. And I'm going to get from the deck Tabari's the most important one. Get it face up. Special another monster. Yes, I'm going to get level 6, right? So, okay. Let's get another Mitsu face up. Special another monster. Yes, I'm going to get Green Ninja face down and then 1 more level. So I can go face up and then I'm gonna go Green Ninja face up, face down, and then 1 more Tabari for my deck face up, right? Or face down. Face down. That way I can use Mitsu and flip it up if I need to. Okay. This is gonna be a Monster Negate and a Fuse on their turn. They get to draw here. If I go Yaguramaru won't apply till the next chain to banish a card, so I can't stop this. Have to let them draw 2 cards. But Yagamaru will eventually banish the Fountain, which is why I'm not too concerned about a grind game versus Runic. Obviously, if I can't deal with this, then it becomes a problem, but, you know, I don't want them to get to that point. Battle phase skipped. I should have toggled on, I guess. Usually effects that are main phase give me the option before the end of main phase to fuse, but oh well. Because I would have been able to go Dancing Leaves tribute their monster special from deck Hanzo. I can pop the trap here. Actually, do I want to do that? Because I can go tribute Green Ninja, flip this up, search the Hanzo, pop. Yeah, I mean, that seems very good, right? This is free anyways. Let's tribute the Green Ninja. I guess he could pop this here with the destruction, but then this can't be used this turn, which is fine. Or I pop Fountain to force out a Hugin. That's not bad either. And off the Hanzo, I want Kagero probably, right? Yeah. I don't have space for Baku. Baku would be pretty good though. Special Green Ninja or Band tribute that. Let's get this out. Hanzo, and then we go Green Ninja to flip this up, which will trigger the Geo to pop. And yeah, let's search the Kagero here. Then effect a pop, and let's just force out a runic spell here. Hopefully, he doesn't have too many more. Yeah, I don't think they wanted to use this, so they may not have any more runics after this, because that's a bad runic to burn. Because they need to protect this, otherwise they just lose. Okay, so I'm probably starting to turn off with first thing Yaguramaru, right? Protect it, yeah. And then we'll proceed. Rhoda. That's not great because my only other Rhoda targets Hanzo, and I already have a normal summon. But I mean, not a big deal. I think I'm fine from this position. I'm going to go into Yaguramaru straight away, right? Yeah, Yaguramaru straight away. Set up Cross Sheep the best by putting it here, or to put it up here so I can go Kagero. Yeah, I have to put it up here so I can go Kagero, which is a bit weird if I have to book it, but I can always refuse it off. Banishment Grave. Get rid of something I don't need. And just concede. Yeah. The resource game there is out of control for them. Like, I get the banish, and if they don't have anything, they are just dead that turn. And the tails to summon from deck, or what's the name of the trap? It's not, the point is not going to do anything, because as long as if they're not synchroing, then I get to attack directly with Maizen, so I can set up OTKs really easily from this position. There are more efficient ways of putting up damage, because the way I put it up on the MZ, it does leave it a little awkward. Well, however, I have more than enough extenders to just make multiple fusions on the Geo to attack, and then just go game. So yeah, pretty good. Let's go to the next one. Okay, won the roll up against Hi Hello, and this hand looks phenomenal. It's 2 engine, 3 non-engine. This is, oh, beautiful. It's beautiful. Waste the maxi. I could not do anything about it anyways. But yeah, this is like dream hand, right? Like, obviously if they have 2 non-engine cards to beat this, then we get dicey, but for the most part this looks fantastic. So let's just start dueling, right? Am I getting duplication or notebook off this? Probably duplication. And then I just make sure to use this one first, because otherwise if it gets Ash and I tribute this, then this can't be activated. I don't have a book to turn on this on their monster. But yeah, this is a bit awkward against Lightning Storm, but I have Ash Maxi, as if that's not much. But yeah, let's call it here. I do think this is overall better. Like, getting notebook wouldn't have made much difference, so I'm chilling. I mean, it would have made a difference, right? Because then I get to have a monster field next to a Tabari. Maybe I'm supposed to get a notebook to be safer. I don't know. Because it might be Tempai with the Maxi off the rip. Although I wouldn't go that far to draw conclusions just yet. And yeah, I won the roll, so they didn't make me go first. Oh, they're DCing, or I hope they didn't disconnect. After drawing such a perfect hand like this, if they just DC'd. Okay, nope, set a card. They're back. It's a 2. This is Labyrinth, perhaps? It's a 3. End phase. You want to use Dancing Leaves in the end phase. So it depends how much I want to push. Dancing Leaves for sure. Yeah, I'm just going to use Dancing Leaves. Target this. If he has Ash, not a big deal. If he has Maxi, I'll Ash it. We'll Ash it. Anyways, this card's important just because it's going to let me keep expanding my bodies. So yeah, I get another Hanzo out here. And then I'm going to special add from next to hand. And with this, I can add Baku. Okay, so the toggle is still there. Yes, they have something. If they Ash this now, I can bounce this back to hand. Although this would die, so I'm not sure if I would do that. But I'd go duplication first, and then, yeah. That resolves. Okay, so we get Baku here, which is going to summon itself out, and then add back Hanzo. So I can keep, you know, kind of multiplying monsters to the point he can't handle. And this deck is really good into their cards when it's playing the defender almost, because forcing opponent to be aggressive into this deck is really hard. Its defensive options are really strong. So applying pressure so that you can play the defensive option later on, very important. Well, didn't know I was drawing that. Otherwise, I may have gone to something else, but that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Anti-spell. I got a little stun player here, but that's no problem for me. It actually is a bit annoying because now I can't search a Digger or Notebook off this. Not effectively, at least. I'll probably still do it because it's good for next turn, but yeah, engaging a bit of a grind, it looks like. I'm gonna make Maizen straight away just to kind of develop some bodies, I think. Why just go battle? I don't know. No, Maizen's so good in the back row. I know it's not going to be the most damage, but there's still a 2-turn clock, which is important because this represents 43 twice, if nothing else happens. If it is loud, we also have Ash. Do I care about this? I mean, if it is big welcome face down and they get lovely, I can't Ash it anymore. But I also want a special from the deck. I think it's a Maxi, and the Maxi might force him to use Big Welcome straight away. Special from deck here is so free. Yes, I'm going to chain the Maxi. Hopefully that baits Big Welcome, so I get to Ash it here. And then this will just not do that much. If it is, and he holds, then I'll hold the Imperm, I get 2 draws, and then it actually kind of maps out just fine. And okay, I resolved, so cool. Special from deck, and I'm going to get Kagero here, I think. Get the anti-target up, because this is really good in like these grind game positions. And then as well, it'll generate more bodies that I can keep on linking and fusing for Yaguramaru with. If he summons Lovely here, banishing with Yaguramaru is going to be a game changer. Because without that in his deck for the rest of the duel, he's at a huge disadvantage. Okay, so he's going to go for Lady, which is fine. And then effect special Grave. I'm going to get the Baku back because I need to get different types. These are both Warrior. I need to get different types to make both the fusions, which is where I'm headed. This is not bad either. It's extender that helps us get towards stuff. Let's get the Baku out. Comes out face down. I summon the Mitsu here. I won't have a booked monster unless I fuse. No, I can't. Yes, I'm just gonna hold this in hand. Conceal information as best I can. I'm gonna banish the Hanzo from the grave. I don't care. I have multiple at this point. And then I'm gonna have to banish this because I can't target this right now. That's fine. This should force the occasion pretty well. Banish the Hanzo. I could check out the anti-spell, but I think this is a little better. Different dimension ground. Interesting. It's not what I expected. This triggers on any trap. Normal trap cards active. Okay, so yeah. Part of how you can beat Labyrinth is keep chain blocking the Lady. So I could imperm this, but what I could actually do is instead chain this to return itself to the hand. And that's going to block this from triggering. I can also trigger continuous traps. I can also trigger Maizen. So that's honestly what happens a lot in these type of matchups. Yep, so DDG resolves, which I'll be a bit careful of. I can't resolve lethal shot, right? Because it's 7,000 and I can't pop. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to go for game, right? Oh, I have duplication actually. I guess it is game if he has nothing. I mean, we'll try it. Back to search. There's another toggle there. Ash. All right, I've ashed way too late, my friend. That's what happens with this deck as well. You play a deck that is both intricate and unknown. People mess up against it a lot. And yeah, they are dead at this point because I can attack directly. So this swing here. Actually, are they dead? Because I drew the third Hanzo, so I can't even summon Hanzo from the deck. I'm check does Mitsu have 200? It should be level 5. Hold on, let me check my deck. You can special summon Green Ninja plus Baku, which is 21. Yeah, I mean that works. Okay. it's so funny. No more toggles. Cool. So let's get out the Baku as well as the Green Ninja. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Oh, free ad, sure. Let's get back. Oh, maybe this was actually, yeah, that was bad probably. I thought I had another one in grave. I forgot I banished the Hanzo. Anyways, attack! Rasen Shuriken! As if it's not obvious, I'm also a Naruto fan. Finish him! So, yeah, the game was not close. That happens a lot with this deck, where you really wonder sometimes, wow, how is this not meta? And that's because it definitely has weaknesses. For example, it has moments of vulnerability. But when you get the ball rolling with this deck, it actually looks really good. So I never had to use the Ash there. I had a shit ton of resources left. I was completely in control this entire time by a wide margin. So, yeah, ninjas. Okay, I've lost the all versus Pokemon. Drew Maxi, which is pretty good. Hand otherwise is meh. I drew two of the ones that are like unfortunate 2-ofs that you have to play. But yeah, okay, it's Labyrinth. Discard a Charmy. This matchup can go either way. It's not like crazy good. It's not. I mean, it can go either way. Whoever gets kind of snowballing first, so going first here is important. Depends how much engine they have. Them having Stovey is huge because it's constant flow of resources. It's going to be hard for me to deal with. If they were playing not the furniture version, I'd feel a lot more confident. But yeah, that was a fantastic draw. It's going to be Hanzo setup. So yeah, let's just get that right off the bat. Rhoda. Hanzo. I'm looking for Iron Digger here, probably. Effective search here. See if they do anything. Could be another notebook instead. What do you think the set card is the question? This is something they want to return for Big Welcome. It might be a Charmy, so threatening battle phase might work out pretty well. I still think I'll get Iron Digger though. No, I think I lead this here to try and force the Big Welcome out because the Maxi will be pretty good. Because he also summons off Torby. So set from deck, and what do I want to set? Put in the grave. Can't be a warrior, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would put Kagero in the grave, but I'm gonna put in a Mitsu then. I don't want to burn this yet. It might be Baku, which is crazy, but Baku would let me get it back off Digger, which is nice. Getting it out of deck feels kind of bad. I think it is Baku, although it is a bit greedy. I think it is fine because I need to be a bit greedy from this position. I'm behind. There's no doubt about it. Now I can make Maizen. The Maizen or Yagaramaru? Maizen for sure, actually. Yeah, no, not debatable. So now I'm going to force battle phase before using Iron Digger. And see what that pressures out. All right, battle phase. Swings. This might force something here. Punishment. They're holding Big Welcome. Interesting. A special from deck. I don't have. This is where I want the Kagero Engrave to dodge this, but nothing you can do about it just yet. A special Kagero from the deck. And if I go Entis, then that's fine. I mean, not really. It does suck your Entis. After the extra deck is not a big deal for them. That's part of the nuisance. Going for the draw. Okay, which honestly I prefer. They have to revive now. They're going to use Stovey here. Okay, so they're actually kind of baiting the Maxi, which is nice. Which is not, I mean, smart, not nice, but I'll force the Big Welcome then. I'll use the Maxi here. Yeah, now they'll chain Big Welcome just to get it out of the way. It is definitely awkward though. I also get to bounce this back. I hope it's a Charmy and not an actual hand trap. That'd be annoying. Summon Ariana. Okay, so they're going for value here. They're going for the draw. So they're going to get 2 draws off this. They're going to draw off Garura as well. So yeah, they're getting quite a bit of value, which is concerning. Mitsu's not bad. So special summon face down. Hanzo? Yeah, Hanzo. Get the draw here real quick. And then draw off Garura. Cool. So they're going to have 3 in hand. Under Maxi. They can set 1 a special one, but I don't know if the special one obviously sucks under Maxi, so yeah, that's fine. Main phase 2. Now I want to summon Mitsu straight away so that I can summon, or I can negate this. Let's get the Mitsu out. He can chain here though, but then I can Yaguramaru whatever he sets. Not the end of the world. Oh god, Maxi is so rough here. Okay, that's very annoying. He didn't chain though, thankfully. Okay, so now I'm going to equip mine to his Ariana, I think. Yeah, his Ariana. Which you can do, which is why this is so cool, because my original plan here was to banish the Baku, pop this. This would die because this is dead. Add back the Baku, summon the Baku, add back the notebook, and then make Yaguramaru clear the field. But under the Maxi, it's obviously a lot worse. So instead, the plan here is to pop this. You'll use the effect, and I can negate it, or you can not use the effect, and it's just gone. And it tries to slow the tide a bit. But he's thinking here, because this card is like really, really important for me here. This card get banished. It is a problem, but it's obviously a lot harder to banish an equip spell that falls off so quickly. Okay, so it gains attack, which is like a random nuisance, but at the end of the world. So banish Baku here is important. I need to banish for the tools effect, and I'm gonna target the Torby. Yep, discard. Ideally, this would be in the grave to dodge. Oh, God, are you kidding me? And the worst part is, you know, he either had the Maxi set or he drew this, but off the Maxi or whatever, but that's rough. I'm trying to get the Stovey, but I still have to deal with this. Yeah, but if this was Imperm, having Kagero Engrave would be nice. Yeah. Okay. This misses timing, unfortunately. It's not going to trigger, but it's okay. I mean, this is okay as it can be. Rollback is so frustrating. How do I deal with rollback? I just can't. I'm under maxi. I just can't be aggressive here. I have to kind of hold off and stand my ground. Not the position I really want to be in, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, he's under maxi, so if he uses rollback, it will give me a card, but yeah. Oh, okay. Not over yet. Don't get too ahead of myself. This is a grind game, and grind games have a lot of twists and turns to navigate. So we're gonna draw off this, which is important. It's the lovely. Yep. Draw one. The Iron Digger. Okay, Tawari doesn't help me. Special from deck. Add to hand. I think it's worth the draw to add back the notebook. Destroy a card, yeah. So destroy the dancing leaves, I guess. I already used this as the problem. Otherwise, I would use notebook in the end phase to reset. So add to hand. I kind of need to just go wide here and hope that I build up more than he can deal with. But no, this is going to be hard. This is not going to be easy. Add back the notebook here. Well, add back the digger. That's notebook. Oh, God. 5 in hand is very scary. I get to reset Big Welcome as well here, which is a problem. I can't access the extra deck for whatever that's worth. So the Ariana is not... I'll say it's not crazy, but it is. It is crazy because it summons Ariana still. Like, this is so free for them. These not being defensive options really hurt, but obviously, like, even if I had more offensive options, Maxi was just not something I could deal with. I mean, that's Maxi. You guys have seen it before. Maxi with, like, setup is really strong. That is fucking scary. If they don't need a Daruma Cannon, then that's rough. Obviously, Daruma Cannon is not as good versus deck because I have the fusions. And you could argue that I could even be playing Daruma because of that, but I'm more going second cards, not going first. Block. Yeah. Big Welcome again. This is no longer becoming doable. I have to, like, bait them into clearing out their back row and then sneak attack, kill them with attacking directly because they're at 4,000. That's going to become my win condition at this point. It's not a pretty one, but... Okay, everything in defense mode means my bodies are going to live, which is nice. And he's attacking the worst one. This is going to give me target protection in the graves. Okay, maybe there is hope. Oh, it's not attack mode. Yeah, kills 2. Yeah, duh. Okay, but this is still best case scenario, all things considered. I guess, yeah, there's still this. Oh, God. This is so much. Now, this is still so much. Alas, I will try. I will try. Okay. Much for sneak attack victory. Wow. I don't know what's left for me to be able to do. That rollback was crazy. Maxi in the rollback. Oh my God. That was so brutal. I was prepared for everything else, but I just couldn't deal with the rest. Like, I couldn't deal with both of those. Oh God. Yeah, I guess to kill everything now. Yeah. I said stuff would live. Oh, I needed that. I needed that. That was a big part of my follow-up. Guys, I think this one's over. This is where this matchup is actually a lot of fun to play because it's not like super one-sided. It can go both ways very easily. As we saw, the last game was super one-sided in my favor. So, I mean, some matches can be kind of non-matches where it's not interesting, where they have way too much to deal with, but the complexity and the fact that it can be so wildly different every time, that's good. It's a different aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh that I enjoy. Although this matchup, or this game is looking over. Fuck. I don't think this does it. I really just have a notebook here. That's it. So lead notebook here. I have to reset the digger. That's the most important card. Digger. As well as Green Ninja. Yeah. Find book as monsters, I guess, but there's I don't know. I banished Tabari off this perhaps, so I can get to go Tabari, Discaris. I want to summon Baku off this. I want to summon Geo, but if summoning Geo is also bad. The problem is you can't even like like stun lock him with the zones like you can with the Synchro X I mentioned, because the big welcome just clears his field off for him. Right now he has 5. You can't actually do that, but this can sack itself off, so it's not actually 5 bodies there. If this can't sack itself off, then there's like a glimmer of hope, but I know better than to assume that. Actually, I know it can. I know there's a Ku Klok in his hand, so I know that's not true. Chain bounce. I have nothing banished, just not gonna float. Yep. Just kind of eat shit there. That was good on their end. Usually people target my monster with big welcome, and then they have to use Kagero. That hurts them. But this is yeah. No, that was a good move on their part. Versus the this is where you can see where versus the not trap or the not lab, the furniture version, like the math lab version, you fare just fine because they can't apply pressure, right? And it becomes like a proper mid-range mirror where it's about snowballing your resources effectively and keeping each other in check. And here you can see because of the rollback, I was unable to keep him in check. But like the other lab decks wouldn't play furniture pieces, they wouldn't play rollback, wouldn't play Ariana here. And yeah, now this snowballed way past what I can deal with. Like this is not cool. Barrier fusion. I'm over. I am dead. Even if they don't barrier fusion, yeah, they've at least familiarized themselves with the basics of my deck, which does leave me boned. They call it fusion, right? Yeah. I know what I'm beat. I'll concede. All right, so that was Ninjas. Unfortunately, unable to pull off the 3-0. However, I think it was still pretty cool. We got to see 2 Labyrinth matches, which is not something I usually expect when I film these. It's not the most popular deck on ladder. However, it's fun playing with Labyrinth because most of the time, at least, again, it's interactive matches where it's important to be very conscious of what you and your opponent are doing, holding resources for follow-up. It's very good, wholesome Yu-Gi-Oh! But Ninjas does that too. It's very similar, where both players engage oftentimes in what you can call fair Yu-Gi-Oh! But I urge you guys to try this deck because it's kind of unlike anything else that exists within the game. It's very interesting from that perspective, as well as it's, you know, there are a lot of differences in play patterns where you can be creative, especially when you're breaking through fields, and it can do that. So I recommend people giving it more of a shot. That's a deck I know in the past has not been given much love, but I'm here to champion Ninjas. Let me know if you guys want to see more of this deck in the future. It's a deck that I enjoy. In fact, it's one of the few decks I have high rarity in real life. I have Starlight Mitsus and Ulti Hanzos, for example. And I'd be happy to bring the deck over to the TCG as well. So if that's something you want to see me bring more of, all you have to do is let me know. But with that said, I'll see you guys all next time. Peace.